Has it really been another month already? Where does the time go? Oh, that's right. I know where the time goes. I spent the last month watching horror movies. It's true, time keeps slipping away. I don't know where this year went, but Halloween has already passed. In fact, as I film this now, Thanksgiving, or as I call it, Turkeyween, has also passed, and we're rapidly headed toward that next major holiday. I refer, of course, to Krampusnacht. In any case, one thing seems immune to the passage of time, and that is horror movies. As always, I've just got a couple of brand new boxes of horror movies from the fine folks at HorrorPack. This being, of course, the November 2021 DVD and Blu-ray HorrorPacks. And so, as is our way, I'm going to open these up and we'll discuss whatever fine movies we find inside. Before I get to that, just a couple of brief announcements, things that are coming soon on this channel. I've been a little less diligent about posting videos as I would like. That's because things in my life have been somewhat crazy of late between Halloween and Thanksgiving and various other holiday commitments and a variety of other commitments that I don't really need to get into, personal and professional. But the good news is those seem to be easing up a little bit, so I'm going to have more time to spend with y'all. One of the next things that I'm going to be doing, I'm not sure if it'll be the next video or just among the next videos. For sure it'll be among the next videos. In any case, it's going to be the annual holiday gift guide for horror fans. I've picked out some great gifts, so if you're looking for something to buy for the horror fan in your life, or even something for yourself, you might want to tune in for that. Which of course means you need to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything. I also have some other videos planned, not related to any of the holidays, but just some of our regularly scheduled programming. There's some interesting stuff in the works I don't think any of you are going to want to miss, so make sure you stick around. In any case, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and open up these boxes. As I've said, I do get the DVD and the Blu-ray horror packs, that's why there are two of them. I don't know which one is which yet, but we're going to open up both and see what's inside. Here's pack number 1. And here, of course, is pack number 2. There we go, pack number 2. And now I want to start with the DVD pack, so let me just peek at the ends. This is the DVD pack, we'll start here. And first out of the DVD horror pack is a film called Axeman. Now, there was a serial killer, I want to say about 100 years ago, around the turn of the last century, called the Axeman of New Orleans. I don't know if this is the same character, but we'll find out as I read the description. The description says, "They were axin' for it." What a horrible pun. I love horrible puns. In any case, in this 80s style slasher with a new school twist, 9 vacationing 20-somethings travel to a posh timeshare cabin in Cutter's Creek for a hedonistic weekend. But their weekend of boozing and sex turns to horror when an axe-wielding local legend comes to life. That's Axeman. So obviously not based on the true story of the Axeman of New Orleans, but should be an interesting film anyway. I like a good slasher. I admire a slasher with the chutzpah to put a pun right on the back of the description, so should be fun. And next out of the DVD pack is Ghost in the Graveyard. I like it already. I'm not familiar with this film, but it's got a nice creepy looking cover. This girl with the vines sort of holding her up, or maybe she's floating and the vines are climbing up. And in any case, creepy, and Ghost in the Graveyard sounds right up my alley. Let's see what the description says. Do you want to play a game? Haunted by her past, Sally Sullivan returns home seeking to uncover the mysteries of her childhood, which include the death of her best friend, Martha, the disappearance of her mother, and the mysterious baby she has suddenly been entrusted with, along with her father Charlie and her brother Billy. Although she seeks a normal life back in her hometown of Mount Moriah, the ghosts of her past still linger. The mean girls who blame her for Martha's death, the cute boy who always stood by her, the secrets of her family hidden somewhere out there. As Sally struggles to discover her true identity, her family and friends struggle with their desire to protect her and her need to know the truth. And, as Sally gets closer and closer to the truth, the answers to her questions will not be what you think, and Sally's story just begins here. Sounds intriguing, fairly standard gothic fare from the sound of it, but as I've said many times, the common tropes are common and they're classics for a reason, and that's because they work. So as long as we're telling a good story here, and it sounds like the filmmakers at least have a shot at telling a good story, I'm probably going to like it. So that's Ghost in the Graveyard. And third out of the DVD pack is 47 Hours to Live. The tag on the front says, "Pass on the curse within 47 hours or die." The description on the back says, "How far would you go to stay alive? During a sleepover, bored high school outcasts Rose and Cadence turn to the internet for scary stories." As you do. But instead find an iPhone game which dares the players to set the photo timer on their phone, look into the lens, and pass it back and forth while saying a chant summons an evil spirit. Awkward grammar there, but we'll forgive it. When the timer goes off, the person whose picture is taken loses and is vexed with a supernatural curse and death within 47 hours, unless they play the game with someone else who loses to them. So that's an interesting premise. It's sort of like The Ring, of course, and also a bit like It Follows, maybe. So there's some interesting things going on there, maybe combining some ideas from some very well-respected films. It sounds intriguing. It's not one that I'm familiar with, but I'm looking forward to watching it. It sounds like it should be fun. 47 Hours to Live. Which brings us to the fourth and final entry in the DVD pack, which is The Girl in the Mirror. It says this is the director's cut edition. I'm unfamiliar with the film. I'm actually not familiar with any of these films, which I actually like because maybe I'll find a new favorite that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. In any case, the description on this one says, after moving into her new off-campus home and passing the inspection of her odd landlord, Alex discovers an antique mirror in her basement that contains the spirit of a dead teen that soon unleashes an onslaught of strange occurrences throughout the house, such as terrifying noises from behind locked doors, ghastly images, and even dead animals. With the aid of her classmates, she sets out to find the secret the house holds about her and its former inhabitant, which leads her to a startling revelation that leads to mayhem and disaster. That doesn't really tell me a whole lot about what the evil is, except Ghost in the Mirror, and we've all seen lots of stories, or read stories, about ghosts in mirrors. I think mirrors are sort of inherently creepy things, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I think there's something eerie just about seeing yourself staring back at you. That can be weird. But I also think there's sort of a psychological thing in that mirrors show us what we really are rather than what we might want to think that we are. So I think we find mirrors weird and disturbing anyway. And then if you, as one would sort of naturally do, if you add a ghost into that story, should be a good horror story. And this one seems like a promising film as well, The Girl in the Mirror. And now it's time to look at the Blu-ray horror pack for November of 2021. And the first out of that is... it's Argento's Dracula 3D. It says it comes with the Blu-ray 3D and the Blu-ray on one disc. I don't know if this includes 3D glasses or not, but it's kind of nice to have both the 2D and 3D versions available to us. And I've not actually seen this, although of course I'm familiar with Argento's work, and you really can't go wrong with his work, so I'm looking forward to watching this one already. Let me read the description and we'll see if we get even more excited. Horror maestro Dario Argento puts his unique stylistic spin on the classic supernatural tale with Dracula, a visually sumptuous retelling of the legendary myth. It's been 400 years since Count Dracula's beloved Doligen de Grat passed away, leaving the immortal bloodsucker forever abandoned. But when he discovers that local newlywed Mina Harker bears a striking resemblance to Dulligan, his furious yearning is reawakened as he believes Mina to be a reincarnation of his beloved. Luring her husband Jonathan away to his castle with the help of his minion and Mina's best friend Lucy, Dracula embarks on a bloody quest to reunite with his long-lost love and live forever with her in hellish immortality. Only the arrival of vampire expert Abraham Van Helsing can put an end to the fiend's unholy plan. Luridly violent and brimming with passionate eroticism, Dario Argento's Dracula is an all-out assault on the senses from one of horror cinema's most celebrated auteurs. That should be a lot of fun. It does seem like he's taking a fair amount of license with the Dracula story, which could be good or bad. I am certainly a devotee of Stoker's original story, but I also like a lot of the more recent adaptations and twists and turns that people have put on the story, and you really can't go wrong with Argento, so this should be a lot of fun. That's Argento's Dracula 3D. And second out of the Blu-ray horror pack for November 2021 is DriveIn Double Feature. So this includes Sky Sharks and Bunny the Killer Thing. I'm unfamiliar with these films, but let's read the descriptions. The description for Sky Sharks says, "In the Arctic, a team of geologists discovers a Nazi warship that was thought to be lost. On that ship, scientists researched top-secret war-critical weapons and created the..." I am not going to try to pronounce that German word. "Rocket-powered monsters whose pilots are genetically mutated super soldiers with supernatural powers. Dr. Klaus Richter, the spiritual forefather of this experiment, is forced to stop his deadly army of the undead in order to save humanity and the planet Earth from this seemingly certain doom." That should be interesting. Sky Sharks sounds pretty cheesy, and, you know, Nazi war criminal experiments are a trope that's been done to death, but all of those things do tend to work as long as your standards are not super high, if you're just looking for a fun movie, and it sounds like that should be a fun movie, so I'm looking forward to Sky Sharks. And then the other one we have is Bunny the Killer Thing. And the description on that one says, "A group of 7 Finnish young adults are heading to have a fun weekend at a cabin in the dark woods of Finland. By chance, 3 foreign men end up to the same cabin. The men seem to be hiding a secret. The party weekend at cabin becomes a game for life and death when suddenly a weird creature attacks from forest to terrorize the people. The creature is half man, half rabbit, and it is after anything that resembles the female genitals. This creature is Bunny the Killer Thing." Okay, I questioned the grammar, the sort of broken English on the description, but you know what? All is forgiven with that last line. That sounds like a blast, and I'm looking forward to trying it. So both of these sound like maybe cheesy, but they should be fun. Looking forward to popping this into the DVD player, or the Blu-ray player. And third out of the Blu-ray horror pack, November 2021, is Death Simber, Uncut Collector's Edition. You know, I've seen advertisements for this. I don't really know much about it. I certainly haven't seen the picture yet, but I have seen some ads. Not even a full trailer, but like posters. I've seen posters of it. And, you know, I like a good Christmas horror movie, so this should be fun. Let's see what the description says. "The ultimate Advent horror anthology. 24 days, 24 doors, 24 deaths. Death Simber is the world's first cinematic Advent calendar." Oh, that's fascinating. "Behind its doors lurk 24 terrifying short films by directors from around the globe, turning the season of love into a season of fear, with gifts of blood and terror to unwrap for audiences everywhere. Those who make it through this creepy calendar will be rewarded with additional segments, so save room under the tree for more nightmarish Noel." Featuring films directed by lots of names I recognize, and performances by genre favorites, including Barbara Crampton, Sean Bridgers, Richard Glover, lots of names I recognize there as well. These spine-tingling tales will make you ready to deck the halls with dread. This is exactly what I was looking for. I always like a good Christmas horror movie. I've been looking for some new ones, and this, there's some good names behind it. It looks great. Because it's an anthology film, even if you don't like all of them, you're almost certain to like some of them. This should be a blast, and because it's still November, I do have time to actually follow the Advent calendar tradition using this film. I can do that starting December 1st, which is just a couple days away now. This should be a lot of fun. This one I am really very much looking forward to. Deathcember. Which brings us to the final Blu-ray. This should be the HorrorPack exclusive. As you know, every month HorrorPack throws in an exclusive Blu-ray that's not available anywhere else. This is no exception. This is exclusive number 65 according to the spine, and that is The Last Thanksgiving. You know, Thanksgiving's actually passed. It's a couple days late for the holiday, but I don't think it's too late. I'm still kind of in the Thanksgiving spirit. I'm still, you know, loosening the belt after everything that I've consumed. In any case, let's read the description. Meet the Brimstons. They're a normal American family. They have normal jobs, live normal lives, except every November they hunt down anybody who doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. When Derry's restaurant stays open for the holiday, the Brimstons begin to terrorize the staff and patrons. Who will survive, and what will be left for dinner? You know, a Thanksgiving horror movie doesn't need to be a good movie. It just needs to be a fun movie that manages to capitalize on the various Thanksgiving traditions. It sounds like that's exactly what this is. If they throw in some good kills, some good gore, it should be a fun Thanksgiving slasher. I'm looking forward to this. This will probably be tonight's choice just because I'm still kind of in that Thanksgiving mood. In any case, that's The Last Thanksgiving. Should be a fun movie, and that seems like a good way to wrap up the November 2021 HorrorPacks. And there we have it. 8 great new horror movies, or actually 9 because the one of them was the double feature. 8 or 9 great new horror movies from the fine folks at HorrorPack. You know, last month, some of the other people who do these commentaries seemed a little disappointed that there were no Halloween movies in the October HorrorPack. And I admit I would have loved a Halloween movie, but I didn't mind, actually. I was not one of the people complaining. And actually, as I watched some of them, it turns out that some of them were set around Halloween anyway. But no matter where you came down on that little miniature controversy, they've certainly outdone themselves this time with holiday-themed horror movies. And I am looking forward to watching all 9 of these HorrorPack offerings. In any case, that's all I've got for today. As always, make sure you like the video, leave a comment, share the video, subscribe, ring the notification bell, do all that stuff, and join me as we finish up 2021, which turns out not to have actually been all that much of an improvement over 2020. C'est la vie, but at least we have horror, right? So join me as we finish out the year, as we move into next year, and as always, take care and stay scared.